I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, the weekly comic show where we take closer, more in-depth looks at the coolest and most happening things going on in the world of comics and superheroes. And on today's show, we're looking at all new, all different Avengers issue number 7. What happens when this new team of Avengers gets embroiled in the conspiracy that is Pleasant Hill? Well, let's hop on in and find out for ourselves.
So as we join the comic, we're treated to a sweet scene of Sam Wilson having some coffee with Jane Foster. Jane has now confided in Sam her secret of being a cancer sufferer, but also being the new Thor. Sam, as you might have guessed, can, kind of relate to filling a very important role, a mantle that needed to be taken up. But he also worries for Jane's health, as every time she transforms into Thor, it undoes all her chemotherapy. He hopes that she's in the superhero business to do some good and not because she's looking for some sort of good death. Sam gets called away to deal with the situation involving the Green Skull, and if you've been following this series like I have, you will know that this takes place before the events of Standoff Alpha number 1. Didn't read that issue? Well, no worries, I have a handy-dandy playlist right here to help you out. Over with Kamala Khan, she's taken out of class by the Vision, who wants to apologize for the things he did under the control of Kang during the last arc. And how does this robot choose to make it up to Ms.Marvel? Well, he knows that she's a gigantic superhero nerd, so he gives her what is essentially a VR headset that allows her to relive the greatest moments from Avengers history. Wow, that is one hell of a gift. How are you going to top that one for Christmas? The rest of the all-new, all-different Avengers team gets called out by Iron Man to deal with the situation downtown. Escaped supervillain Night Phantom, an old-school technology-hating Iron Man foe, is causing trouble for Miles Morales. Night Phantom is crazier than usual, ranting and raving about a secret prison called, you guessed it, Pleasant Hill. The Avengers manage to take him down easy enough, but that's when Maria Hill shows up demanding that he be taken back to Pleasant Hill. Now, it's important that I note here that this Maria Hill we're dealing with is a lot blunter, a lot more straightforward, and a lot more in character than the Maria Hill we've been seeing elsewhere in the Standoff storyline. Well, geez, Iron Man thinks to himself, this Pleasant Hill sounds like quite the happening place. Maria Hill better take the entire team there to give it the once-over. Sam Wilson, of course, won't be able to join the rest of the team because he's off having his own adventures, which you will see in the other Standoff books. At first, everything seems all hunky-dory, that is, until from the Quinjet, the rest of the Avengers team can see the Unity Squad down below. That's, of course, the team from the Uncanny Avengers book, if you weren't aware. As they look at the team also entering Pleasant Hill at the same time, they can see that they're being led by Maria Hill. But how is that possible? How can there be two Maria Hills? And with that, the Maria Hill driving the Quinjet fires on the Uncanny Avengers team. Now, this is where the Uncanny Avengers tie-in ended, with us not being sure whether the team survived or not. Obviously, they do when a gigantic fight breaks out. The basic premise of the fight being, hey, you shot at us, hey, there's two Maria Hills running around, how do we know you're not evil doubles? What's interesting about this fight is that the younger characters like Kamala Khan and Sam Alexander desperately try to get everyone to stop fighting. And then, in a weird way, the kids kind of get their wish, because Kobik, the godchild who runs Pleasant Hill, ends up stepping in and, well, kind of wiping everyone's minds. The comic ends with Tony and Miles thinking themselves humble mechanics of Pleasant Hill. All New, All Different Avengers number 8 is probably the most cohesive of all the Standoff tie-ins I've read so far. And much like all the other Standoff tie-ins I've read, it's nice to see that the writer doesn't sacrifice telling their own story for tying into the bigger event. Once again, they pay a decent amount of panel time to the mystery of the two Maria Hills and what that could possibly mean. Kobik is also shaping up to be a really interesting, really different kind of villain for a Marvel event. Honestly, she feels a lot more like something you would find in a Twilight Zone episode than you would a superhero comic, and I like it. Overall, I would feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll feel like checking out some more videos I have on offer here at Cape Joel.